Watch your video one time through here. Okay, so out the gate, we can see that this right here is not a leg lift. Okay, this thing needs to get way up there. The higher you lift your leg, the further away your foot is from the ground. The further away your foot is from the ground, the longer your body can travel to your target before that foot hits the ground. So the longer that the foot can stay off of the ground, the longer your body can be in movement. The longer your body's in movement, the closer you can get to your target. The closer you can get to your target, the less distance the baseball has to be traveled. The less distance the baseball has to be traveled, the quicker the baseball gets to the hitter. The quicker the baseball gets to the hitter, the faster it appears you are throwing. Okay? So if your leg only lifts this high off the ground, your foot is like less than a foot away from contact, which means it doesn't have very long that it can travel towards the target until it's going to have to be in the ground, meaning you're not going to travel very far, meaning the ball is going to have to travel further distance to get to the hitter, meaning that it's not going to appear as if you're throwing very hard because of how long the ball takes to get to the hitter. Okay? So we see that's as far as you're able to lift your leg, and now that foot is close, 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 and now it's in the ground. All right, we back this up. Your foot hits the ground, and we have not rotated any of our hips. We can see that your femur, which is the bone from your knee to your hip, is angling down and across your body from right to left. Then your shin, obviously your shin is from your knee to your ankle, that bone is angling from the left to the right. And then your foot is angled from heel to toe to the left. And it's also angled that the inside of your foot is hitting the ground first instead of the flat part of your foot hitting the ground. We then go and look at your hips, and we can see that your hips have not rotated at all because the center of your belt buckle is still here. We can see that your back hip has not fired because it's still here. The top of your kneecap is facing right here. It has not rotated. And your foot is in full contact with the ground, meaning you have not driven away from the target, nor have you rotated. We can also see at this point your glove is extended completely straight, and it is now down and outside of your body. Your ball is already to your ear, and yet it is not time. You haven't rotated anything, which would make that hand want to be there. So now your throwing hand is wanting to throw the baseball right now. Your glove is well beyond the point of which it needs to start finishing, yet your lower body has not even begun to rotate, which needs to occur to allow this hand to be thrown. So we're going to see now every time these shoulders rotate, the hips have to rotate with it. So here come the shoulders starting to rotate, and the hips are rotating with it. And as they rotate, because of this bad angle in this front leg, this knee is going to start slowly having to buckle out towards third base dugout. And there's that buckle. You see that? Buckling right here in this front knee. Buckling. So all your energy is swiveling towards third base dugout. Look at that glove. Way out towards third base dugout. All right, everything's just swiveling out, peeling out, and now we're just dropping everything, and the arm is just dragging along. It's along for the ride now. So we can see right here, the position that this lower body is in right now, this is what it needs to look like when this front foot lands for the very first time. Okay? And what I mean by that, if you look at my little dude here, he's 10 years old, kid I've been working with for a little bit now. All right, we watch him and how he gets his, once he gets going, where his body's going towards the plate, boom, now he gets into the ground, and look at his lower body position. Okay, gained ground away from the target. His lower body has rotated. Look at his back foot, back leg, front foot. Upper body is finishing the glove, and now the hand is ready to be thrown. Okay, so I make this a little bit smaller so we can see both of them. We'll put him here. We'll take you back to this point. We watch that back leg never really drives that body anywhere. Boom. You just hit the ground here. Okay. That's your lower body position at front foot strike. His lower body at front foot strike. Okay. Look at his back foot, driven away from the target and rotated. All right. Now, let's get your lower body to look like his lower body. We would need to take you all the way to here. So now your lower bodies look very similar. Okay? But look at where your upper body gets to in order to get to this position versus where his upper body has remained in that same position. Even though his lower body has rotated, his upper body has not. And we call that upper-lower half separation. The more you can separate that lower half rotating and the upper half not, once you get into foot strike, all that rotation energy from the lower body gets sent up now so that the upper body can throw the baseball with power versus throwing the baseball with a push. And if you push, you're going to fall backwards because none of that energy is together. And look how all your body just falls backwards after that throw. Versus making this throw here, energy's out in front, and then he rotates to finish. So what's his lower body going to do? Rotate, continuing to finish. And boom, now he's done. All right, so we got to get that backside driving. Creating energy, getting yourself going to your target and not just putting that foot down without rotating it. We got to get this driving to this position, which would allow this foot to be further out, closer towards the crease here. And if we do it on time, the upper body will be in this position while the lower body is in this position. But because they're not, and this lands here, every time the upper body starts to rotate, it's having to pull this lower body with it. And if it's pulling all that heavy weight of that leg, it can't rotate fast, and then we get to a pushy throw.